Hi, in this video on Seqta Basics, I'm going to be going through the marks book. So this, of course, is accessed from the teaching workspace, and I would go to my timetable normally. So if I'm looking at the timetable of a particular staff member, I will be able to see the icon on any of these classes here to access the marks book. So if I go to the traditional view here, the marks book is this icon here. So it looks like a little spreadsheet with a percentage symbol. So I can access any of these from there. So if I click on that, that will take me directly to the marks book. If I'm already in a program, I can always select marks book from here. So I might be looking at the programming elements here, the cover page in Seqta, but here I'm going to go through to the marks book. So I'm just going to select a date when there were students in the class. There we go. So in the marks book, you can see that we have the students' names down here. And again, if in the marks book, if I select on their name, that will select that student over here in the SIP. You can see all the students' assessments going across here from left to right in date order. And you will see all of the students' results and individual results, and this is percentages in there. In the marks book, we can go into what's called focus mode. So for this particular one, I can click on this icon, that goes into focus mode. This allows us to give feedback to the student in here. So teacher feedback in there, it allows us to put in the mark, in this case 18 out of 30. And it allows us to add files, or even if we wanted to, give some feedback of audio, video, or a screen recording that can go directly in here so that the students and parents can see that. Over on the right pane here, you can see the different releases of this assessment. So when we're marking it, it might just be that all details are released. Then after you add your feedback in here, you can go to teacher feedback released. And then after that, you have the option to actually release the marks. So there's a staged approach for each one of these assessments that can be controlled from this focus mode in the marks book. You can see I can then go through all of the students, clicking on one at a time to go through them. And I can also go through the tasks. So I can choose from here, I can go straight to the semester 1 examination. And again, similar thing, I can go through and I can select each student and I can make some comments. I can put the mark in, and I can do the releasing and the making the availability. I can also just look at it, so it's just that one there as well. So if we go back to the marks book and scroll across, you'll see I've got all of these assessments. We then get a summary at the end of all of this based on these weightings. We've got a summary here based on the grade cutoffs. We get these grades, so these percentages are based on all of these results here. We also get the attendance in there as well, and we get a ranking for each of the students. Over further on the purple section, we have the reporting section. Okay, so I can see then if I go to the semester 2 report and choose curriculum rather than wellbeing, you can see I can transfer these results here that have come directly from the marks book and transfer them into the reporting section here. All right, so it's easy to do that. What I can do is just copy. You can see that copies all of those results there, and then I go over here and I just click on paste. That will then paste all of those results into there as well, and I can do the same thing for grades and for any column along here. It will copy and paste into there. If I go to program here in the menu, remember I'm in the teaching workspace and now go to program, this will show you the outline for this particular course here, and I can build this using any of these tools here by clicking and dragging onto this page here. So for example, I might want the title at the top. So I can drop modules in and out here. I can drop a text module in here. This one here is called a legacy editor because that's one that works with tables from Word. So if you create your program in Word, you'd need to grab a legacy editor and drop it in there and then paste the contents of that in there. Then the tables will look nice. So that's the way to do that. If you've just got text, certainly just use the text in there. So we're building our cover page in here. In this case, the students are only seeing the cover page. In our marks book setting, this video is about the marks book, so I just wanted to show you the marks book settings. You can see that for this particular course type, this is a senior course, so it's a WACE course type. You get lots of different options here. WACE course practical, marks based for most year 7 to 10 courses. So there's really very few options there. Marks based for most 7 to 10, WACE vet, WACE course practical are the most ones that appear most. So this just shows you what the cutoffs are. So in those grades that we were getting, if someone gets 78 or above, they will get an A. Now you can choose those and you can change these yourself. So for an A, you could say, let's make that from 75 and above. So this is able to be customized as well. You also get these assessment groups. So I can create groups here in the marks book, things like semester 1 and semester 2, practical and theory. Those sorts of things, I can give them weighting as well, so that the final results will be weighted according to these weightings here. So in this case here, we've set up a All Saints at Home group that has 0 weighting. So I can put assessments in there and marks in this group. It will not count for anything in those final results we were looking at in the marks book. If I go down now to overview of assessments, so I'm in the teaching workspace in program and overview of assessments, you'll see here's the list of assessments here. If I look at any one of these, this is just how you would set out an assessment. You choose the group that it's in. So this might be practical or theory, semester 1, semester 2. A label, that's the top of the label in the marks book there. Description, if you like, you can create a rubric for there. This is where you can change the availability. And if you have multiple classes, you can do multiple classes at once. There is a whole lot of things that you can set expectations in students reflecting both before and after the assessment. You can make it so students can upload files as part of their assessment, make it a Turnitin assessment, make a checklist of items and resources, and give some text about the overview of this assessment. There's a lot that goes into these individual assessments, okay? So, and you can also jump around to those different sections there from this thing up in the top right. So hitting the plus sign there will enable you to create a new assessment where you can fill all this in, put in the dates here when the assessment is going to be due. For example, it's hidden at the moment. Say the date and title is released, set all of this up with a new title and then hit save. That is the way that you create an assessment, and as soon as you do that, it will be there in the marks book and you can enter the marks. So this is a really brief overview for the marks book in Seqta.